What's up guys, it's Darius, and today I have basically a complete recap of everything that happened yesterday during the active time report for Final Fantasy 15. Now before I start with this, I just want to apologize for this not being up earlier or on time yesterday. I had some things I had to take care of in terms of like school and everything since I was about to start, and also I didn't have really like a live reaction or like live stream of anything because I usually would, but again I had some things to do yesterday, but I just decided, why not just do a roundup, basically everything that happened, to give you all of the information that you might have missed on, just in case anyone missed it like I did. So I'm just going to get right into it. Alright, so the first thing that happened was, they obviously introduced Tabata in I guess it's the head of marketing, Ouija. I don't know how you say his name. It's Ufuji. I'm sorry. Akeo Ufuji. Yeah, and he's basically the head of marketing at Square Enix, and most importantly, Final Fantasy 15 right now. Basically, Tabata wanted to start off by saying sorry for how things were at Gamescom. He knows, again, that a lot of people weren't very pleased by what was shown at Gamescom. But he just wanted to say that they learned from that. The next thing he wanted to say was that he really wanted to confirm again that the game is coming out in 2016. He really didn't say it for sure at Gamescom, just because he actually wasn't supposed to say that at all, but he did confirm that yes, this game is coming in 2016. The next thing that he also went on to say, which was probably one of the more bigger things that they confirmed at this event, was that there's going to be a special event going on March 2016, and it's basically going to be a big event where they will for sure tell us the release date for Final Fantasy 15. So finally we at least have a a confirmation as to when we'll get the full release date for the game, and they basically said that again this event is going to be a big event for Final Fantasy 15. A whole bunch of things for the game might happening around that time, and they basically feel that this is the best time to reveal it. And also, it's going to basically probably be the end of the promotion for Final Fantasy 15. Whether or not the active time reports will stop, who knows, but this is basically a culmination of everything that they've done so far for the game. Next he goes on to say that there will be more information and footage leading up to the March event. Obviously things like Tokyo Game Show, and there's actually going to be a winter event confirmed, which is also probably going to be talking about Final Fantasy 7 Remake as well, since they did confirm. We'll get some more information about that at that time. And he basically said there's going to be some more interacting with the community type stuff going on around that time as well, to keep everyone on their toes and everything. Alright, so the next thing that they went on to do was they introduced a progress report, volume 1. And basically what the progress report is that it's basically something that they actually have internally at the development team at Square Enix in Tokyo, where they basically come together once a month, and they show different departments and different sections of the development team show what they're doing at the moment, and how far they've gotten with what they're doing. And they basically said that they wanted to do this just because they know that the people who have been following 15 so closely are basically their core audience, and they feel like we're one of them. We're actually part of the development team, which is pretty cool. So they felt like showing this off, and they did go ahead and say that this is not something normally a game studio would do, showing stuff so early in development, and it's actually not good for promotion, but they feel due to us being the core audience and us understanding how development of the game has been going so far and what game development is, that we know this isn't going to be the final product, and how it looks. So basically, as you can see in the video that I'm showing right now, they showed off some magic. They actually showed off the main menu. They show off core in action actually, and he wouldn't go on to actually confirm it's core, but as we can see, it is core. They actually showed off some pretty weird and cool looking enemies, as you probably saw, and as well they also showed off some sub weapons, which is actually a gun, and some more stuff as you'll see the clip go on. Obviously none of this stuff is polished, and it's not finished, but as he said before, this is for the core fans who don't mind. They just actually like seeing this stuff. So the next part was actually the concept art, and they went on to say that this was actually shown, some of this stuff was actually shown at Gamescom, But there was something going on with the live stream and everything to where they were not actually, people at home weren't actually able to see it. So people at Gamescom actually saw all of this, but people at home who were live streaming like myself could not actually see it. So basically, the first concept art they showed off was actually a Chocobo Ranch, which we've actually seen in episode Dusk Eye, and then they go on to show it in rendered form. But you know, like I said, we already seen that. And then they go, the next one is the goods sold at the ranch for the Chocobos, which we've already seen as well. The next thing that they actually show off is Alticia, which is obviously, you know, sort of a I guess you could say a Spanish or I don't know how they exactly explain it. You can actually go down in the description below and watch the whole live stream yourself. But they said it's basically based off of, you know, sort of a Spanish feeling type of city like Venice. I think that's exactly what he said. Actually, it's actually inspired by Venice, and you know, basically said that, you know, the rendered form of this, which we've actually seen before, will look pretty close, if not exactly like what we've seen. The next one is actually the Hammerhead Mechanics concept art, and also Lestalem, which we've actually seen before, and he actually gives some information on both of those. So the first one he obviously gives information on is Hammerhead Mechanics, and he basically implies that, you know, this is, even though it's just a mechanical spot, this is one of the hub towns and cities you go to. Even though it's not a town or a city, it's a place you're definitely going to be stopping at. And he actually gives some pretty good information as to, you know, the whole Sydney thing. So he says in the middle you can obviously see Sydney standing there, but they said that's not actually who owns the shop. And he said let's just say that she's the daughter of, you know, the actual owner. And he said, do you also notice that there was an old man sitting to the right on the corner, just like kind of taking a nap? And he said that's basically all I'll give for you right now in terms of what that means. So he's basically implying that Sydney is the daughter of, you know, the usual Sid we would get in every Final Fantasy, who's usually a guy. So, you know, there is Sid confirmed for Final Fantasy 15. He's just an older guy, but Sydney will actually be helping you out along the way, which is pretty cool. You know, we actually get two Sids now. So, you know, the people who missed the male Sid is actually in there, and the female Sydney is there as well. The next thing he obviously goes on to is the Lestalem, which we've obviously seen before. It's another place inspired by a Spanish themed town, and he actually confirmed that, you know, there's a big structure in the middle of the city, as you can see in the concept art, and he said it gets its power from basically a dormant or underground meteor that's under the earth. And you know, I guess you could say the machine gets its power from extracting it from it. So the next concept art he goes on to is basically just the world of the game, and how he just goes on to explain how you can, you know, camp anywhere, you can rest anywhere, and we've already gotten information of that. The next one is actually pretty cool. It's a picture of Regis and his car, the Regalia. Now he goes on to say that, you know, Regis obviously owns the car, but he goes on to say that it's actually, you know, it's a very vital part of the game, as you'll see later on in this video. He goes on to explain that. But yeah, he basically says it's a very vital part of the game, just because when you go on your journey with Noctis, obviously King Regis isn't there with you, but because this is his car, he says you're indirectly going on a journey, and it's a bond between son and father, between Noctis and Regis, which is pretty cool. He also goes on next to the next concept art and explains that this is the Leviathan Eidolon, and he confirms that it's actually a female this time. And he also goes on to say that each Eidolon in this game has its own personality and will play a vital role in the story and that actually this Leviathan is connected to the city of Alticia, which we've already saw as the Venice styled city that I just went over before. Which is pretty cool. You know, we already got confirmation that Eidolons will play a bigger part in the story of this game. But it's, it's cool to see that we got some information regarding the Leviathan. He also shows that I guess you could say the the myth-styled concept art we got at the end of playing episode Dusk Eye, and he says that this concept art actually shows how the world came to be. He also confirmed that, you know, the old guy on the right with the long gray hair for a beard is Ramu. And also he said that even though the art style looks very Western, it's actually a Japanese inspired or influenced art piece. The next one is actually another piece of art we got at the end of episode Dusk Eye. It was actually right after we saw the myth inspired one. And he actually confirms that this is Luna, and she's fleeing from a town being invaded. We don't know what town it is, and we don't know what it's for, but we did confirm that we'll get some more information about her at TGS and what's actually going on. And the next concept art we got was actually it's actually a new piece of concept art that they didn't show at Gamescom, and he said that it's a new outpost slash town, and it's called Kime. At first I didn't know how to spell that, but later on in the video they actually go to it, and I think from the sign it's actually spelled C-E-I-M. And he basically said that, you know, this is a place located near the ocean, so basically you'll be able to travel on boats from there to other places, and of course it'll be rendered seamlessly while traveling. So that's basically it for the concept art. The next thing that they show is actually in-game footage, and basically this is just showing the you know, the four guys traveling in the regalia going around, but they actually go into some detail about the steering wheel. So basically he said, you know, he pointed out the fact that, you know, before in the game everything we've seen for the game so far, the steering wheel was on the right, but they decided to switch it to the left, and basically, in short, it had to do with, you know, basically everything gameplay. It felt right to just switch it to the left. He went into some detail about how all the cars in XV are produced in the kingdom of Niflheim, and they're actually given to the kingdom of Lucis. And, you know, due to the culture of it being, it matched the placement. He also went on to say that the theory of certain regions in the real world that we actually live in today, regions with guns have steering wheels on the left, and actually has to do something with protection. I have no idea how, but in Niflheim there are guns, so that explains why. That's another reason why. But anyway, onto the video. He goes on to explain how, you know, there's obviously an auto and a manual mode when driving the car. He also goes on to confirm that, you know, there's a navigation system, which we actually saw at the end of episode Dusk Eye, but we actually weren't able to do it ourselves. He confirms that you actually need gas in the game, and if you run out of gas, you'll have to push your car to the nearest gas station, which is pretty cool. But he also said that, you know, you'll get some help from the NPCs around you in terms of the gas and trying to get the regalia up and running again. And obviously he said that gas will cost money too, which is pretty damn cool. He also goes on to show us the driver views and the different angles you're actually able to enjoy the car in. There's a driver view, which is obviously like a first person mode. There's a tail view, which is the basically the standard mode you would see in a video game for when you're driving a car or watching a car being driven. The scenic view is basically a camera that you're able to control, and you're able to move it around 360 and look at all different angles out of it. The next thing that he goes on to show is how you're actually able to get out of the car at any point in the game, and you're actually able to go to any point in the game, period, as long as you're able to physically get there. Obviously, if there are certain places where you'll die, or, you know, there's a gate or something, you won't be able to go there. But, you know, if you're driving the regalia, you can just get out and explore something, kill some enemies, get back in the car and keep going. He also mentioned that the marks P that you might have saw earlier in the video are actually parking spaces, and they can be set as waypoints or destination. And actually at that point they actually get to Kime, which they showed concept art of, and they said that, you know, you'll obviously have to pay to park there as well. And there's a big lighthouse inside, but they decide not to go in just because it would actually be spoilers. If we did, it would commence a cutscene, so they don't go in. And also they just say that at the end of this they show that everything that they shown was on the PS4. And they also show at the end an extended cut of the progress report, which was in English, and then it also showed some little stuff at the end about water and everything, but it's not too different from what we saw before. The next thing was from Avalanche Studios, which, as you guys know, is the developers of Just Cause, and they were basically saying that, you know, there is some things in the work between them and the Final Fantasy 15 dev team to get the game as best as possible. They go on next to say that, you know, there's a Twitter account dedicated to Final Fantasy 15 now, so if you guys want to go follow that, you can. It's at FFXV EN. So that's the English one, and obviously the Japan one, you just replace the EN with the JP. They also, you know, just go on to confirm again that the next ATR is going to be at TGS, and that at that ATR they'll be focusing on King Regis, Luna, Chocobos, and fishing. So that's basically it for everything that happened at the Active Time Report. Hopefully you stayed for the whole thing and enjoyed all the information. Let me know what you guys think down below. What was your favorite thing out of this Active Time Report? Personally, my favorite thing obviously is that we'll be getting confirmed release date at a March event. You know, that'll be a big event for everything. But other than that, I think, you know, one of the really cool things that they did at this event, you know, was show the concept art and also how customizable the driving is in this game. It's pretty cool. So again, let me know what you guys think of all this down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please again leave a comment, give it a like, favorite it, share it with others who weren't able to actually watch the Active Time Report. And if you enjoyed, please subscribe for more videos in the future, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.